What's up, YouTube? It's been a while, and I decided I'd come on here and do a little accessory video. And well, the reason I'm doing this video is because I recently had to get a new phone. I ended up getting the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. Reason I got that phone is just because of memory capacity. It's the one that comes, or that has the option to get the 256 gigabyte memory. The S24 only comes with 128 gigabytes of memory, and my current phone, the Galaxy S10, yes, that's old, still already had 128 gigs, and I was already out of memory. And yeah, I could have probably managed my storage a bit differently and got rid of some stuff and moved things around and things of that nature to free up some space and keep it going. But it's seen some wear, and I decided I wanted to upgrade to a better camera. And did some research. The phone I wanted was actually the S23 Plus. The camera on that one is a little bit better in certain respects. I'm not going to go into it. You can watch. There's tons of videos already on YouTube all about it. And excuse me. For me, I would have preferred the S23 just because in certain shooting modes, the S23 tends to capture a bit more true to life images, and it also doesn't wash out some of the finer details in the photos in most shooting modes. But you know, obviously there's going to be certain shooting modes where the S24 is going to take the win. Unfortunately, most places that I went to looking for the S23 did not carry it anymore. New, they were all refurbished. If I was able to find it, it was refurbished, and I didn't want to do refurbished. I probably could have looked on swappa.com and maybe found something that looked brand spanking new. But there's a bunch of factors, and I ended up going with the S24. It's still light years ahead of, camera-wise, what my old phone was. So I'm still pretty happy with it. I just would have preferred to have the other one. So what we've got in front of us are different cases. These are actually all old cases, the ones down here. These were the cases I used to have for my old phone. I know what you're thinking. 4 cases is excessive. And you'd probably be about 100% right. But I kind of like to change my cases depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing. So to start with, I almost never really use this one, so we'll start with that one. And sorry, I don't have equipment for the S24 yet, so I'm kind of freehanding it right now. I got this one in case I wanted to add a pop of color, to my, I guess, to the aesthetic of the phone. And it has really good grips on the sides, as you can see right here. So it's not uncomfortable to hold. I also wanted to make sure that I had a kickstand. That's because every once in a while I like to watch clips and stuff on my phone, and it gets annoying holding it, and it's kind of nice to be able to just kind of rest it and still be able to watch. I also wanted a magnet for the car mount, so that I could just, throw it up on the car mount while I'm driving and forget about it. Which is why I got this one, but I almost never used it because this magnet was weak sauce. Did not stick to the car mount very well. It slipped off. If a medium-sized wind came by, it would slip off. So I almost never used it. That's why it looks still brand spanking new. I did use it from time to time just because of the color, but not that much. Because it didn't really serve much of a purpose. I actually ended up using this one a lot more because the magnet was really strong, had that kickstand. Right now you can see it's missing. There is no kickstand. It broke off. And as you can see, it's got a lot of wear and tear on it, so it definitely served its purpose, protected the phone well. You can see it's still pretty clean also on the inside, so my phone, when I took the case off, wasn't dirty. Like most of the time when you peel it off, there's like a bunch of dust and stuff there and like grime. My phone looks pretty clean, all things considered. This one was a great case. Only thing is that kickstand is really cheap. It did end up breaking off, but it did last me a while. This magnet, super strong. The only thing I did not like about this case, which is why I decided to get some other cases as well, is because look at that. That magnet really adds a bit of a profile onto the phone. It's just this thing that's kind of like jutting out of the phone. And I hated that. I wish that they would have made it flush with the case and it would have been nice, or at least flush with the kickstand, because you can see that it's kind of raised above the kickstand as well, which was really annoying. But it is what it is. It served its purpose, but also towards the end, the magnet actually popped out, and you'd think that there's a thick magnet in there. There isn't. This sucker's super thin. Super thin. So I have no idea why the heck they needed to raise the magnet that far away from the case. They could have had it closer to the case, made it a bit more flush. Maybe not 100% flush, but at least got pretty darn close. Because honestly, it really is like super thin. It was ridiculous. I was just floored at how thin that magnet was, and just super impressed that that thin little piece of metal was able to grip so well to the car mount. One of the downsides to having something like this is wireless charging. It's a thing now. And there's also power sharing with the Android devices. So for my earbuds, my watch, some friends with iPhones, yeah, that's a jab. I would be able to charge their phones, my stuff, whenever I'm running low, but this blocks that from taking place. It's a magnet. It's going to block stuff. So I would have to take the case off in order to do that. Still a really great case. You can see I definitely got a lot of use out of this one. It was a good case. I also liked it because of the look. It, minus the magnet and the kickstand, it kind of has a tactical look to it, which is what I liked about it. And the grips on the sides were really comfortable, which made it easier to hold the phone. this one is currently on my phone right now, my old phone. And the reason I got this one is because, look at that. Look at the profile. Super thin. Love that. So whenever I'm wearing a suit, or whenever I was wearing a suit, I don't wear suits that often, but whenever I was wearing one, one of the things I dislike about these other cases is that they add a lot of this extra bulk, especially here with that raised magnet to the phone and to the profile. This one not so much, which is why I really liked this one at first, but it didn't do what it was supposed to do. So it was kind of a wash a bit, why I didn't get to use it that much. So I ended up, excuse me, using this one a lot more. And just because whenever I'm wearing a suit, this would keep a low profile. I could put it in my suit pocket, and it didn't look like I had, like an address book in my suit pocket, or if I put it in my pants pocket, it didn't leave, it breaks the profile when you have like this bulky thing in your pocket. So this was nice to have for those, low profile days. But I ended up also buying, it does not come with this ring that you see around here. I ended up buying that separately later on. And it's actually a magnet. And the reason why I wanted that, I was kind of hoping I could still car mount it. And nope, because the car mount the diameter is smaller than the diameter of this circle. And even with how strong this magnet is, this magnet was not making contact with enough surface area. Sorry, I'm dropping the camera here. Was not making enough contact with the surface area of the car mount. So little bumps and it would fall. So it wasn't really good for car mounts. But it was great for, this is actually my wallet. And it's kind of like one of those MagSafe wallets. And it really holds really well. Well, not so much anymore, but I used to be able to pick up the phone with my wallet attached to it. But the good thing is that, I know this kind of defeats the original purpose of why I got the case, but if I've got my phone, I've got my wallet. It's usually attached. I can just throw it on there and boom, I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about where my wallet is. I know it's with my phone. And then, I can still hold it comfortably. Yes, there's crazy smudges on this thing. Ever since I got my other phone, I let my nephew use this one to kind of just play games on there. See, it's really strong, which is what I really appreciated about that little ring. So for those of you that have a blank case and would like the whole MagSafe kind of idea, you can actually just go on Amazon and you can buy these rings for your cases and then just throw it on there and then boom. And I also do have a wireless charger that was magnetic, and I could attach it onto here. And that was also the another great thing about this ring is that it did not block the wireless charging. So I could bring that wireless charger, attach it here, and then I've got that wireless charger with me as well. So this way when my phone starts to die, I just turn on that wireless charger and it charges my phone. So that was great for when I was, sorry, my finger, whenever I was going out for long periods of time. And I had a less than optimum battery when I left, I would grab that little wireless charger, throw it in my pocket, and then if ever it got to the point where I needed it, I had it to charge that phone. This was nice. The only down thing about, other thing I liked about this case was the grip on it was amazing. It was comfortable, but you could really grip that phone. And it feels sleek, but it does not protect the phone as well as some of the other cases. You could see kind of like the corners there are a little bit exposed. So if you drop it in certain, and if it lands in a certain way, your case or your phone's definitely going to get damaged, which did actually end up happening. I dinged one of the corners up at the top, and then I occasionally will sometimes go naked, meaning no case. Not no clothes, no case. Just because I just like the profile without a case, and if it's gonna be like a casual type of thing, and I'm not gonna be doing a lot of moving around, and it's just gonna be, maybe just a one of those chill vibe kind of days. No case sometimes, and my nephew's a bit rowdy, and well, ended up dropping my phone, cracking the camera on my phone, and that's when I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely need a new phone at this point. This case was super fun, just because I got this before I got this ring and this wallet, because it looks really nice, to have the leather case on it. I did see a leather case in this color without the wallet. Well, there's some cards in there, so I'm not going to open it up because I don't want you to see the info in there. But let's do this. You can hold, I think it holds like 7 cards in there. And it still keeps a pretty low profile as far as the wallet itself is concerned. A regular wallet, with 8 cards and cash and all this other stuff in there tends to be a lot bulkier than this. It's still kind of bulky, and this actually ended up being a bit thinner than this once I put in all the cards. And I normally don't walk around, I didn't in the past used to walk around with that many cards. So this actually used to have a slimmer profile, but over time I just needed to carry more cards, and they weren't like credit cards or anything like that. Like you have, I've got the dental, the vision, the health, all there. Yeah, there's a ton of cards in there. And just in case, I end up needing them. But yeah, so this one was a really fun case. Liked it a lot. Used it a lot before I ended up switching to this combo. The other reason why I switched to this combo is that when I have this case on, like it's pretty bulky, and it's just on there for good. Like you can't separate them. Like you just, this was, sorry, I'm trying to move around and switch hands and stuff. This was a great solution because I could separate them and then just go straight phone, and then go straight phone and then keep my wallet in my pocket, and then just have my phone in my hand and stuff like that, and use my phone. Also, kind of had it worked kind of like a kickstand as well. So which was another added bonus when I got it. So these are all the cases that I showed already were for the 10. And we'll just put that stuff over there because I'm no longer going to be using those. I was going to do an unbox video, but I'm very impatient and I kind of wanted to see the cases beforehand. And this one was I already opened this one up. And this one is, with the S10, when the S10 was around, there were not any cases with the whole MagSafe concept for Androids. So those rings were the solution. Now they actually started making cases with the whole MagSafe concept. And this one's actually not as strong as the ring. But it does... Hold on. I tried this earlier and it worked. And now it's not working. And that's... Ooh, that's concerning. I might end up returning this case. There it is. I wasn't on the spot. Sorry. But yeah, there you go. It actually does hold. It's bouncing and it doesn't slip up. Now I'm sure if I put my phone in there and I try to pick it up, it probably won't hold just like the other phone or the other case. But yeah, this is when I want to go, watch in case. I can do that. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, I talked a lot about the car mount that was important to me, and that's what this one was. It had a case that was meant with a car, it comes with a little cleaner too as well for your screen, because it also comes with a screen protector. And no, it's not that color. You're going to peel that blue tint off so that it'll be clear. And then a little cushion for inside the case when it was in the bag. And this is the actual, I don't know what this, for the magnetic case is. I don't know what that is. Let me see here. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do that later. So, this one looks very similar to the one that I used to have on the 10. It's got that, tactical look to it. It's got the kickstand that I like, and it's got a magnet. I have not tried this in the car yet, and I really, really hope that it works well. I feel like it's gonna work just as well as this one, because it has the same texture as this magnet. It's just a lot darker. This one at one point used to be the same color as the center. Just over time, it just wore off the color. But it feels like it's probably the same thin little magnet that this one was. It might even, I didn't even check, but it might even be the same company, because they look so very, very similar. The only difference is that because of the camera on the S24, we now have that, which is nice considering what happened to this one. Camera lens got smashed up. And even if I had the case on there, it leaves your camera lens vulnerable, because there's that hole there for the lens. And here, you can actually cover it up and then you only open it up when you actually need to use your camera. So this way, if you ever drop your phone, your camera's protected. So I think it's a great idea. The only thing is that obviously it's going to add a bit of a profile to the case and the overall phone, but again, this magnet adds way more profile than this little slider drawer to cover your camera. And we already went over this. There's no reason why the magnet needs to come that far off the case. I'm like, look at that. That is protruding a lot. You see, even when I rest it down, this is level, and then it kind of slopes because this is sticking out so much. I don't like that. But, you know, I'm definitely going to use it because of the whole camera mounts, or I'm sorry, the whole car mount situation. The other thing I don't like about this is that I don't know what this door adheres to, but you don't hear a click, but it definitely does grip something. I don't know what it's gripping. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold, but it definitely does grip something. But the point of that is that it rattles. Not sure if you can hear that on this video, but it rattles. I don't like that. I feel like over time, from wear and tear, this is not going to stay closed. It's going to lose whatever it is that it's gripping. Eventually, it will not grip, and it's just going to slide around there all loosey-goosey style. Yeah. Here's the inside. Clean, nice, textured, feels great. The sides also feel okay, but it's pretty plain. And even this feels a bit cheap compared to this one. This one feels a little bit better. It's not like a silicone either, like this one that has a nice silicone feel to it on the sides, but this one just feels way more plasticky than this one, and this one feels kind of plasticky too, but it feels nice. So there's that. It is a bit softer right here over by the bevel. Just so that it's, you know, flexible so you can get your phone in there. But yeah, I take some issues with this, but I'm gonna use it. I will let you know how that works out. I think despite those glaring flaws, I'm gonna end up hanging on to this a lot, just because of the stupid car mount. I'm definitely hanging on to this. I only have one hand, and I'm gonna try to see if I can do an unbox for this, but they taped it. I'm gonna pause the video real quick just so that I can open it. Okay, so we're back. I'm gonna try to do a somewhat unboxing video. Okay. The case or cardboard that it comes in, it's alright, smooth. You know, it doesn't really jump out at me, even despite that loud yellow there. It's just like generic case. That's pretty much all it says. To me, anyway. Which, who cares about the box, right? And then, obviously, the manual. For those of you that don't know how to use a case. And then there's probably some more, hey, check out some of these other cases that we sell type of stuff in there. Comes in a bag. Feels nice. Plastic. Kind of soft. Smooth. I like it. Okay, well that case is gripping the plastic, so that's kind of nice. There we go. Swing. Ooh, I like the feel. It feels not fuzzy, but coated. And you can see it's a very like soft type of silicone. It's not like jelly, but it's definitely soft and it's malleable, so it's probably not going to offer as much protection as something like this that's a bit sturdier. But this is as close to, it's very, you know, again, I'm all about the profile, as close to naked as you can get. And at least I have some sort of protection to protect it against, you know, gentle dings and light scrapes when this is on there. So that'd be nice. And then the other thing is that for those of you who haven't seen the S24 yet, the camera lenses here pop out or protrude a little bit off of the phone. It's not a big deal. But with this on there, according to the image that I saw online, it will appear flush. So the camera lenses won't seem to protrude out with this on there, which will be nice. Because whenever I don't have a case on there and I put the phone down flat, it kind of ends up looking like that. So it'll sit kind of like this because of the camera lenses. Not obviously I'm exaggerating the height, but you know. So yeah, I think I'm probably gonna hang on to. I think I got 3 cases. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hang on to all 3 of them. I got 3 of them just so I could kind of figure out which one I'd like. I knew I was gonna hang on to at least 2, but I thought I was gonna end up getting rid of this one because this one is just as, man, it's not as flexible. So I feel like this would offer way more protection, but I thought I ordered a black one and it looks clear. So I might have to double check the receipt on this one because I kind of like the black look. However, my phone is, I guess, kind of like I would say like a gunmetal gray, even though they call it onyx black. It isn't onyx. With this on there, or with my phone in there, this looks a little bit darker, but it still looks kind of gray. This one, it's just blacked out. So, and you can see there's really not much difference to them other than the fact that the benefit of this one is, you know, come on, Nailed it. So this almost kind of seems redundant. Although I like that got this here kind of separating the lenses out, where this one you don't. This isn't going to offer any protection at all, but I kind of like that whole aesthetic once it's on the case, or I'm sorry, once the case is on the phone, because here there's going to be, well, I don't know. This feels a lot more supple than this. This just feels really smooth. It feels nice, feels good to the touch. Something about this that I like. It really is redundant. I don't need this. But as you can see, I didn't need that many cases either for my old phone. So I'm probably going to end up keeping all of them. Even though I really shouldn't keep this because it serves no purpose. Other than protecting against light scrapes and dings, where this one does that, but I feel it would protect way more because of the rigidity of the case. It's not as floppy like this one. And look, I can't do that with this one. So yeah. Tell me if you guys think I'm crazy for having this many cases. You really don't need multiple cases. You really just need one. Like, pick one that ticks the most boxes. Save yourself the money. But if you're like me and you like to accessorize, and, you know, I have a different case for a different situation. This is for when I'm carrying my wallet around, and, you know, sometimes I don't have pockets. And for the most part, the case will grip my wallet, and as long as I'm holding my phone, I've got my wallet. You know? Excuse me. I'm really sorry about all the coughing, guys. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you think I'm insane for having this many cases. Like I said, you really only need one. There is no one perfect case that does everything you need. But, you know, find one that will tick the most boxes. I didn't even really, normally I will research the cases and I'll see what kind of protection grading does it give you, all this, that, and the other thing. I didn't do that with these cases. I just went, okay, this looks great. It does this and this function. I'm going to get that one. This has the profile I like. I'm going to get that one. And this has the tactical look, the case, the kickstand, this is the workhorse. Okay. And these ones I probably will not use as much, but I'm gonna feel good having it, because should I decide to switch it up, I got options, guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me know.